Honorable colleague, invited guests, nominees, family, friends, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This confirmation here is convened to consider the nomination of Deputy Minister Designate for Codification in the Ministry of Justice, in person of Councillor Augustine Toh. It is an exercise of our powers provided in Article 54 of the Constitution. The purpose of it here is to assess the nominees' qualifications, experience, and readiness to discharge the responsibilities of the office nominated to in accordance with the constitutional laws of our country. The committee will examine the nominees' understanding of legal codification, legislative drafting, or rule of law. The nominee will respond candidly and directly. Nominee, please pay attention. And directly to the questions. You may speak only after a senator completes his questions and will not entertain arguments and counter questions from the nominee. Each senator will be allotted 10 minutes, so we are not so many, for questions. And we'll receive questions in writing from members of the public in the gallery and by text messages from people or persons outside of this chamber through the sergeant at arms and ourselves. Thank you again. I want to welcome all of you. And I will now call on the sergeant to administer the oath to the nominee. Sergeant, please administer the oath. We'll put the nominee on the oath.
I, Councillor Augustine Toh, candidate for the position of Deputy Minister of Justice for Codification,
a bona fide citizen of the Republic of Liberia,
bona fide citizens of the Republic of Liberia,
do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that the testimony I am about to give
that the testimony I am about to give
and to my recollection is the truth and nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Here, witness and stand is clarified.
Thank you, Sergeant. So next, we'll ask the nominee to give his opening statement. And that should cover a summary of your qualifications, your suitability, and your suitability for the position. Oh yes, sorry, it's an omission. Yes. The number 5. Sorry, I skipped that. 5 is self-introduction. Starting with self-introduction. We start with our colleague in the back.
My name is Emmanuel Nukuri. I represent the people of my county as I represent. And for the purpose of this hearing, I I am a member of the Judiciary Committee.
Albert, you were chair, represent Ranko County, member of the committee. Time to go.
Senator Evans, no. Senator County. My name is Stephen Smith, Senator of Weah, County.
I'm Abraham Dallas Dela, I represent Masura. I'm a member of this committee, the Judiciary Committee.
And I'm the chairman of the committee. I'm Senator Councilor Augustine SQ. You are my namesake. Thank you and welcome again. All right, so nominee, item 6, we want your opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Senator.
Which essentially is the summary of your qualifications and suitability for the position.
Thank you, Mr. Senator. I'm Councilor D. Augustine too. I come from Grand Cess, Granville County. I started my elementary school at a Catholic school called St. Patrick Junior High School. I got promoted to the 7th grade. I came to Monrovia. I went to the Botswana Elementary and Junior High School on Jamaica Road. From there, I went to William V. Stockman High School on Troy Street. Then to the University of Liberia, where I obtained my first degree in Public Administration and Economics. Subsequently, I went to the Louis Arthur Grant School of Law, where I obtained my LLB in General Law in 2001. I started my public life at the same Ministry of Justice. During my high school days, every vacation I worked at the Ministry of Justice. When I graduated, I was attending the University of Liberia. I was a cadet at the Ministry of Justice. First, I started with the Rehab Division, subsequently to the Office of the Assistant Minister for Litigation. Then I became the first Director of Human Rights for the Ministry of Justice. But I stayed a short time in that job. 4 months after, I joined the Catholic Justice and Peace Commission in 1999. There I worked for almost 13 years of my life. I left from there, Mr. Sadiq appointed me to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, where I stayed for 8 years. When my contract had ended in March of 2019, I went to private practice again. From 2019 up to now, I've been a practicing lawyer at the law offices of Sai and Sai, with my dear friend and brother, Dr. Diego Forsai. Let me stay for the record. I do not have a master's degree. Besides my 2 degrees I got from the University of Liberia, I've attended many other universities, but I've gotten all those universities I went to, the certificate courses I pursued. I come to the job with a wealth of experience in the legal profession. Since I graduated from law school in 2001, I've been practicing law. First I was Anthony Law. I practiced law for 5 years. I sat the Supreme Court bar exam in 2006. I passed successfully and I made it to the Council of the Supreme Court bar since 2006. From that day to now, I've been a practicing lawyer of the Supreme Court bar.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Thank you. So then we'll begin our interaction with you, where my colleagues, including myself, will ask you questions. And respond, like I said, please do so directly. Respond directly to the questions. There are no counter questions and no arguments. Thank you. We start in the same order. Senator Weah.
Yeah. Thank you. As a nominee, I don't have too many questions, but I have just one concern. You've been nominated as Deputy Minister for Police Relations. I'd like to know what are your plans in terms of modifying all the laws of Nigeria. What do you plan to do? What are your plans? And how would what the plans are relate to the overall plan of the government in line with the rule of law? That's the first one. Let me just ask both questions so that you can respond to it. The other thing is, the other question has to do with accessibility. Accessibility of the laws of Liberia when codified. If you want to maybe have access to the law, how do you get those laws? Are there plans to digitize the laws that you codify?
Thank you, Mr. Senator. The function for the position of Deputy Minister for Qualification is fairly stated in section 22.6 of the Executive Law. And that position, the minister responsible for qualification, primary responsibilities is to compile, arrange, and strategize the laws of Liberia. Now, the problem is, if laws are made and they are not codified and arranged in the proper manner, it makes it difficult to research the law and find them. For example, the statute that we pass as legislators, they are laws. And those laws have to be regularly codified, edited, and placed in a volume that anybody who wants to research that law, either in Liberia or out of Liberia, will have access to the law. The Supreme Court opinions are also laws. The laws have to be codified. They have to be edited and codified and voluntarized so that legal practitioners can have access to them and do research they want to do, and other people outside Liberia will have access to those things. Now, I come to this job, I don't want to boast of my qualification, but I think if I'm given the opportunity, if I'm confirmed by you, I'm given that opportunity, I will bring a whole lot to this job. Because I know as a practicing lawyer, it becomes difficult sometimes to access our laws. Of the Supreme Court opinion for many years, for more than 10 years, was not codified. So even to make reference to the Supreme Court opinion was very difficult. It is not until recently that some lawyers headed by Councillor Philip Benz decided to codify the Supreme Court opinion and other relevant laws of Liberia. So it's a huge backlog of laws that have not been codified, that have not been arranged, they have not been put in proper context, that have to be done. So I know that where I'm going, it will not be easy. It's a difficult task. Because I know how scattered our laws are being, and it will require a whole lot of work to put those laws into proper perspective so that we are living today will access them, and the generation yet unborn will have access to our laws. I agree with you, Senator, that we in the computer age now. It's about time that we digitize our laws. I mean, sometimes it borrows from as a lawyer that you want to make a research You get this every hour, you read it, you go to the other one, you go to the other one. So it makes it very difficult. But if those laws are codified and digitized, it makes it very easy for people to research them and do it in a short period of time.
Can we get your commitment to that point? Because as you already said, making research, if you, like you also said, some people opinions are law.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's a particular case, the one former Chief Justice you said before, he encouraged her, I said, read Supreme Court opinions on cases. Because if Supreme Court decides a matter on a particular issue, and thereafter there's a similar matter on the same issue that was determinant of the case before. So once it is on the same facts and circumstances, you know that Supreme Court ruling will never deviate from what the previous ruling was. So that's why I'm asking about being able, after codification, accessibility, what commitment do you bring to that? Because it's a serious problem. And the other issue, I heard you talk about editing, that you will be editing the laws to codify them and edit Supreme Court opinion. Can you please explain that further? Because I know you talk about editing.
Yes, what I mean is that, Senator, sometimes you read a piece of legal document as an individual. You think that everything you put in that document is correct. Another lawyer reads it and see that there are some little things that should have been, the T's are not dotted, the commas are not placed properly. Editing doesn't mean that I want to change the whole context of the law. No, but it's to make it proper and readable and understandable that anybody who picks it up and read it will know exactly what the law means and what the law says.
I'm still confused. Are you talking about editing before legislation?
No.
After the law had been passed,
Yeah.
after Supreme Court opinion had been run up, that's the time you're going to do the editing?
Exactly, Senator. Because sometimes it might not be to change the context of the law. If I said I want to edit a law that is passed by the legislature, no, I'm not going to change the context of the law.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Look at it and see whether grammatical errors are made, that's all. Not to change the context of the law. I do not have no authority to change context of the law that is made by the legislature. And I will dare not to do that. But again, sometimes you read a piece of paper, Senator, you think that you are dot your I, you are put your comma where you are supposed to put it, and somebody reads it, they see it that this comma is not to the place it's supposed to be. That kind of editing I'm talking about. And I'm talking about editing the context of the law.
I still see a little bit of problem. So what, is there any legal reliance for that?
There might not be legal reliance, but it's to make it proper because it will represent the whole Republic of Liberia. That's all. Suppose a little grammatical error was made, it is not corrected, and we just put it in the booklet and somebody from outside reads it. It will have a reflection on you, myself, and everyone else.
Yeah, so I don't think that you should be given or you should have that authority outside of the legislature, outside of the Supreme Court. Because we don't know what I'm going to say in your seat. What you're explaining here might sound reasonable, but it's you. We don't know the next person coming. Maybe their interpretation, their editing, the extent to which their editing will go. So I think you need to reconsider that. You don't have that power to edit anything coming from the legislature or to edit the decision of the Supreme Court. There's no law granting that authority to you.
I agree with you, Senator, and maybe this is the discussion we can have just to make it better for our country. That's all. I'm not trying to impose myself or other things, something that is not given to me by the law. I just want us, all of us to work together and make it good for our country.
So, as the deputy, if you are a friend and you are the deputy minister for codification, the full laws are presented to the legislature. We have a say, we have an authority to review and properly structure the law. That's the question. Whether you want to be involved in lawmaking processes before a law is submitted to the legislature.
It would be a pleasure if I'm given the opportunity.
No, as per your portion.
Yes, for my portion, yes, it has to be. All laws or contracts that come from other government agencies within the executive branch of government should be read and approved by the Deputy Minister of Codification.
So don't you think that's the time your editing will be required, not after the law has been passed?
Well, I agree with you, Senator. I'm not trying to impose myself. I was just making a suggestion that even if the law is made, if suppose the law is made, Senator, and grammatical errors are made, not intentional, and we want to publish that law.
So where will you be for those grammatical errors to be made? Because you have a job to do.
No, I do it. It comes here. The secretary of the Senate will do their typing and all to give us the finished one. In the process, anything can happen. I'm talking about human error, Senator. I'm talking about human error.
Okay, we can have a conversation on that, but I maintain that you don't have authority on our law to edit whatever comes from the legislature. And even if confirmed, you're never going to have the authority to edit Supreme Court opinion.
Thank you.
And for the purpose of codification, the Secretary has been put in perspective. So, semantics and other things you can do. You look at semantics of the law and other things when you do the codification. So, yes, the manual editing you spoke about, yes, you can do.
So you try to disagree then?
No, not disagreement, get clarification. No, it's clarification, get clarification. Yeah, please, Senator Dillon asked for dispensation. He has to go. You have to join the program at the university. So we want to give him a special dispensation to ask a question.
Thank you, Chair.
Senator, you done?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just agree with me.
I get clarification. There's no clarification.
Mr. Nominee, go after me.
Thank you, Senator.
For the record, I know the nominee. I know him very, very well. Who worked at Justice Ministry long before.
You are kidding?
No, I was special assistant. So when somebody in that category is before me as a nominee, it only takes courage for me to do my work. Because after we confirm him, if he's not performing, the public will, it will come back to us that we confirm the people. So let me do my work.
Welcome, Senator.
Thank you. You made a statement to the effect that Senator Weah had to go back and forth to get a clear understanding that you will do some edit to opinions and laws. I'm sure you are talking about grammatic.
Yeah. Semantics.
Or grammatical errors, spelling and why not to change the context. But I know the reason my colleague, Senator Weah, went back and forth so that we can get it out of you that you are not going to change any law. Because that statement was scary. It reminds me of a statement made by Associate Justice Weah when he was before us for confirmation hearing. That we should rewrite the entire Constitution. I wanted to vote no against him for that statement. Because it made a big headline, but the context to me was different. If I'm sitting on the bench to interpret the constitution that we have, and your idea is that the constitution are correct or rewritten, it means your interpretation will be done in line with what you think should be rewritten. So I just wanted to make that point that you have no authority to do edit of any law or opinion when you're doing codification. For the record.
Thank you, sir.
You have no authority. That office and the holder of that office has no authority to do edits. As in changing the
Change the context of the law.
Of the law.
That's true. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Mr. Nominee, when did the president nominate you? Question.
About 2 weeks ago, Mr. Samila.
Before or after, since after your nomination, before or since after your nomination, have you seen or sat with the president? Question.
No. Before and even after, I'm not sat with the president.
So that means you haven't had any interaction with the president before or since after your nomination?
No.
So your vision for the codification department will fall in line with the president's vision.
It will fall in line with the president's vision and my own philosophy as a lawyer.
And if your philosophy is different from the president's vision,
Well, maybe I'll do the honorable thing to quit.
good. I'm asking you this question so I can ask you myself the second question. Have you seen the budget for the codification department? Did you have interest in looking at that budget?
Frankly, I have not looked at it.
So the person whose pleasure you may be serving, should we confirm that the department you're going to head, you haven't had time to look at the budget for that department, whether it fits within your own vision as well?
Well, first of all, the budget is already passed. So no matter what, whether I agree with it or I do not agree with it, it is the budget, it's a law. So the only thing I can do is, if I'm confirmed by your goodwill, is to work with the present budget that will be there and make a case, there's a reason to make a case for the next budget year.
How much would a minister or deputy minister for codification, how much do you expect to make at the end of the month? Or what is the salary for that position?
I got no idea about the salary of the Deputy Minister for Justice for Codification.
But you will take the job.
If I'm confirmed, I will take the job.
Then later on, before you start asking what is money small or plenty.
Yeah.
Senator, in a country like this where there are more qualified men and women more than me, to be called at this time, I think is a privilege.
So you're taking in more in service than you pay. Until you get that, then you say you pay small or you plenty.
Since I started my public life, they have always been of service.
One time, you made a statement to the effect that government is come, grab and go. Do you still stand by that, or do you want to expand on that?
I made that statement. Yes, I made that statement. At the time, the condition at the time necessitated that statement. I was convinced then that at that time, the government of Liberia was the government of Camp Grab and Go.
And the government of Liberia today is?
Well, I have not been so involved in looking at the government of Liberia performance. I've been busy with my private law practice. So I cannot bring the government of Liberia now being government of Camp Grab and Go. At the time I made that statement, I only civil society. I will monitor religiously the performance of government and government officials.
Then you got appointed to government after that statement?
No, I made that statement in 2005, 2006, and I got appointed to government in 2011.
But that's the point. So I said you made a statement. You got appointed to government after you made a statement.
Yes.
Then when you got in government, you didn't see it as come to grab and go.
I saw your come down and go that while in my job I was doing a prosecuted people who were stealing from government.
Good. You still hold that view?
Why?
The government come, government go.
In some instances, yes. In some instances, yes. Other than that, we now have all the cases of corruption all around here. So people who get involved in the corruption are people who see government as a government come down and go. It might not be everybody.
Thank you. I'm concerned about something Senator Weah brought about, and I just want to clear that up. The codification of our laws, which is very, very essential and important, that we all must get involved with. We pass laws here. The laws are printed into handbills. The Supreme Court issue opinions and rulings. Sometimes the Attorney General of Liberia issues opinion. And all of those things are supposed to be codified, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any assessment within the 2 weeks since your nomination or so? Have you done any assessment to have an appreciation of the status of what you want, why you may inherit? Should we confirm it?
Yes, I think I do. No, just recently I had an opportunity to have gone to the Supreme Court for argument. And there's something in law they call the law of recency. Meaning, if Supreme Court gave an opinion and made an opinion on this issue 5 years ago, and 2 years after, similar facts and circumstances obeyed itself and it said something else, that the recent law becomes the law of recency. Unfortunately for me, when I went to the Supreme Court, the law I relied on was done with by the same Supreme Court 3 years earlier. But because the Supreme Court opinion was not qualified, I did not know. So when I quoted the law I was depending on, he brought it to my attention and said, "No, Councilor, that law you put in, we dealt with it 2 years ago. So please, if you can't quote the other one we're talking about, that one you quoted to, you cannot support your case." So I agree with you 100% that these laws have to be codified. Because if they are not, people will find it very difficult to access our laws. Lawyers will find it very difficult to make to quote the relevant law that they are depending on. Even legislation of the national legislation, the law that you pass, the statutory laws, if they are not qualified, people will not access them and people will not know. I agree. One time I had the argument that somebody was held in contempt because the legislators were giving, the third me. And I think somebody challenged it, and only to find out that it was true, that was the law to that effect. I believe that if that law was qualified and properly placed, people would not have doubted that there was a law that gave you the opportunity to take the third. So these are the kind of things we're talking about. If the laws are made, they are not arranged properly, they are not simplified, they are not sensitized, and properly placed in volume that people can access them, it makes it very difficult.
Do you think more technology can help?
I think so.
Do you have any plans? Have you considered any plans to digitize that department? Because it's the same I've been trying to fight with the land authority and the probate court, especially on land related issues. The land authority, surveyor, and especially the probate court will probate one plot of land, meets and bounds, and somebody else will come the next day and the court will probate deed for that same place, meets and bounds. But if we digitize, these things, you plug it in the system, it comes out that the place is already probated, so we can probate another deed for the same place. It will help. Same way with the department. The reason we're asking, if you've seen the budget for that department, whether you can even start anything with it. That was some of the background for which I was asking whether you even review the budget that you may inherit. Should we confirm So don't you think technology would do the trick for us?
Technology will do the trick for us. Look, Senator, there are many things we need to digitize in this country. A fee serving for the filing clerks at the Temple of Justice. Now you go look for, you want your file. It will take maybe an hour to look for. I mean, it's not that they are incompetent, but the volume of files that they have to go through. But if those files were digitized, as you said, maybe the probate code, for example. I mean, some of the learning issues we have will not have them.
Correct.
Because if it is digital, you probate a deed on Johnson Road, the means and bounds is clearly stated.
Right.
And it's digitized. If anybody care that deed, they plug it in, they will know that this land was already registered and probated and belonged to Senator Dillon. So comes the toll, you cannot buy this land. So, I mean, there's a discussion we can have at all levels of our government administration.
Maybe the codification department, should you be confirmed and doing this kind of technology to digitize some to get our laws codified, maybe it can not help maybe the entire government structure, especially that land department, land authority, and the probate court, and in fact, the very Supreme Court, and also at the legislature.
Yeah, there are some lawyers who are doing good now in digitizing our law. Councillor Banks and Councillor Emmanuel Jean.
Yeah.
When I was in law school, if you wanted to read 100 hours, you will run from one law firm to another law firm. You can't find that 100 hours, you will walk from one law firm to another law firm. Right now, the whole thing is on liberally. So whatsoever you want, you get plugged in. That case is giving you. So there are some work that are being done in that direction. Councillor Banks and Councillor Jean, they are doing some work in that direction. I hope that if I'm confirmed to learn from their knowledge, their expertise, and perhaps work with them so that we can carry the whole thing holistically. It can't be one man show. To codify our laws, it needs a team of lawyers and brilliant researchers to do it.
And you will commit to work in tandem with the Law Reform Commission.
Exactly, I got to.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is responsible to publish handbills of laws.
Mm-hmm.
I chair the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Should we confirm your role to do codification? We also have to do working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in that direction.
Exactly, because
Our committee will be available to do that. But as I leave, I want to ask you as I leave, is the JPC still worried? Deeply worried?
the JPC is still worried.
No, I mean, I wanted to make this clear. I don't have issue with your credential, your academic, professional credential. I was asking this question to understand your suitability for this particular job and whether you're ready for it. So,
Thank you, Mr. Senator.
you know how much a deputy minister is supposed to be making?
I got no idea.
We didn't consider finding out.
Well, there was not something I was thinking about.
For your status and when you work and when you earn, you ready for what's there?
Well, the highest money I made in government was when I was at the LACC. My salary was $5,000. But I think that these salaries were harmonized. I don't know why they said it was, so I don't know how much they make now.
So whatever is there now, you ready for it? You will take it.
Whatever is there now, I will take it.
Until you start making the case for increase.
Yes.
That's it.
No,
Mr.
Senator, sometimes, you know, let me tell you a story about
No, no, one story, one thing that you
Leave your nominee witness. first question is not cash. Several times we have hearing with the Law Reform Commission, and they have told us that there's an overlap between their function and the function of the Deputy Minister for Codification. We're even suggesting that we try and abolish that position. Are you aware? Do you see an overlap? Or have you heard that?
No, Senator.
But do you see, because you just said when Senator was asking you, you said that you are to any law that comes to government, that comes to legislation, you have to see it and approve of it. And that is also a function of the Law Reform Commission.
No, this function of the Law Reform Commission is to draft laws. The function of the Deputy Minister of Codification is to codify the laws after they are drafted, after they are passed.
So the way I ask you, people are editing. Some are editing when the law comes to you before it comes to the legislature. Say yes.
But by that function, by the function that is enshrined in section 22.6 of the new executive law, that spell out the function and duties of the Deputy Minister for Codification. I did not read there that you're supposed to you're supposed to make laws. You make, the laws are made, then they are given to you. You have the function to codify them to make them accessible for people who want to read the laws or to research the laws.
So to the best of your knowledge, the Law Reform Commission has nothing to do with codification.
To the best of my knowledge, it shouldn't be. As per the act that established the Deputy Minister position as seen in section 22.6 of the new executive law.
We know you are going there as Deputy Minister for Codification, but we know the Minister of Justice is challenged because they have come here over the limitations, sessions, and other issues. And I believe because you are the minister, I'm sure the minister can also assign you besides your function as Deputy Minister for Codification to other areas to assist. What's your specialty in law? Which area will you
It's a senator that I graduated from Weah Underground School of Law. I did general law. Since I've been practicing all aspects of law.
So you're practicing corporate law, criminal law, international law, everything.
I do the bit of everyone of them.
Okay. So you work at the LACC, right? You said 8 years.
Yes.
Can you summarize your work there? And after that, tell us, were there any challenges you faced?
When I joined the LACC in 2011, I was a commissioner who had oversight responsibility for education and prevention. So after that, in 2014, Mr. Salif appointed me as the vice chair for the LACC. So my job was to act in the absence of the chair or if you are out of the country and work in harmony with my colleagues to do the work. Yes, LACC was challenged. At the time, financially it was challenged. Secondly, we live in a country where everybody cries for corruption. When somebody is arrested, then it becomes a problem. Then people say it becomes a witch hunt. So we had that challenge too. So it was very difficult to work. But again, that's the country we have.
Okay, so my last question, so Chairman, would be that, so normally you work out private law firm, and say you are in law, you have experience, and so forth. You know, we can access from office to ask, Well, Senator,
How many cases you won, how many cases you lost?
wow.
Don't come
You want to assess your
Don't come at home. Don't come at home.
No, I will. But on the serious note, Senator, every lawyer that goes to court, go to court to represent your client.
Yes, I did.
You do not go to court to say, I'm going to free you from this trouble. You go to court to do your best to free your client. And this is something my dear friend and brother, Councilor Jibo for Saya and myself have been doing. Said I've been with you since 2019 up to present.
Do not arrest for my constituents.
All right.
Full disclosure. Both are county and religion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator McGill.
Thank you.
A few questions. As a nominee, in your presentation, you said, and the Minister of Justice, what were the portfolios that you held
As the Ministry of Justice, I started as a cadet. Then I went to the rehab division. I worked briefly at the Central Prison. Then I became a vice assistant to then assistant minister for litigation. Then I became the first director for human rights. I was appointed by Minister Editor Obama then. That was the last position I had before I left the Ministry of Justice.
Let me go back to the Belong's question. When you said the government job is county government, when you said you made a statement because you were an advocate, right?
Yeah.
And as a professional lawyer, do you see a distinction between an advocate position and a lawyer position?
Yes, there is a distinction.
Can you explain?
As advocate, you look at society and figure the wrongs of society and make public statement. As a government functionary, I do not come out to make
No, I said as a lawyer, as a professional lawyer.
as a professional
But
lawyer.
advocate, whether you're making, you're talking fine, or you're making allegations, and you're bringing on people repetition, or you, as a lawyer, do you base your statement on facts, or do you just make comment because you believe that somebody is corrupt, so you just make a corrupt statement, even though you don't want to.
When I was in advocacy, I was already a lawyer. Every statement I made then was based on fact.
So how find that proven? How find proven? Is it based on the statement or you go to court?
I have my facts available before I made the statement.
Yeah, but you, a statement based on facts or then allegations?
If I will not challenge, then it became fact. If I spoke about you and you felt that I was impeding, I was lying on you, and you didn't challenge me, and you didn't go to court, then you accepted what I said.
So your assumption is people have the right to accuse anyone. Even when the facts are not available, they have the right to it. Is that your assumption?
I'm a lawyer by profession. I believe in the Liberian Constitution, Article 15B of the Constitution that says you have freedom of speech, but you will be held responsible for the abuse thereof. One, I will never have been responsible for the abuse thereof. Whatsoever I said then was the fact.
Can you tell me, as the vice chair of LACC, did you ever have a conflict with your chairman? Because of the very.
Yes, I have conflict with him.
Can you explain to us what was the basis of that conflict?
It was a leadership style. As a commission, you are first among equal. And I was a principal deputy. I expected him that every decision should be made in whole meeting, discussed, and we take a vote that how to run the how it should be run. So at some point in time, he took decision that was not sanctioned by the board. So I disagree with him.
The allegation of corruption at the LACC at the time you raised that, right?
Corruption.
Yes. They didn't raise
Yes, I said it. I said at some point in time you were making expenditure without being approved by it.
So do you believe that prayer is a corrupt man?
I said you were taking decision on making
Giving
expenditures.
an argument that when you accuse somebody, when not you court, when not time,
I did not accuse you of corruption. I said you were making expenditure without the approval of the board.
So what can you tell me that as a professional advocate, people spend money for all the approval of the institutional structure and further?
If he did some, if he spent money without the structure, it was wrong.
So how do you consider that? It's not corruption.
Well,
As an advocate, I don't be an advocate.
no, at that time I was not an advocate.
No, I want to be an advocate. Hard to be an advocate at all. You think somebody spending money for structural approval, do you consider that as corruption?
I consider it at the time I was at NACC as you were violating the procedure that you were supposed to follow.
Do you consider that as corruption?
I consider it that you were not following the procedure you were supposed to follow.
Can you give me an example of the key aspect of codification?
Senator, I'm a lawyer. We can't memorize. My police says, Senator Chair, Senator Dara know that lawyers do memorize. That is one.
Normally, no counter question, no argument.
No.
To answer the question, I should understand, please.
No, I just wanted to read.
Because I say answer the question, I should understand.
I shouldn't read that.
No counter argument, no counter question, no argument. No, you can read. I'm not saying
Hey,
you are
hey,
responding to him.
No, I'm just telling Senator that
counter question or argument. That's
no, I wanted to start reading.
Yeah.
That is why I'm saying that we lawyers, we can memorize, we can read. That's why we go to court, we get our book, then we learn.
You don't tell him that.
No,
That's
tell him.
argument, a counter question, argument.
Okay. Now, the function of the Deputy Minister for Codification is found in section 22.6 of the new legislative law. It states, review all draft contracts and legal documents referred to the Ministry of Justice from any branch of the executive, branch of the executive branch of government. 2. Prepare memorandum of legal questions from other agencies.
My question is, codification has a definition.
Oh, codification.
General context. And codification has key aspect when you talk of codifying law.
You compile the laws, you read the laws, you systematize the laws, and only it expose that anybody who want to research the law can find.
This will be my last question. How do you consider the decision of the Supreme Court in the public key case?
I think the Supreme Court was right. The Supreme Court is right in the sense that as a nation, we as a country, we have not done collectively what we're supposed to do to address 7 key issues in this country. Article 74 of the Liberian Constitution says the legislature should pass laws to define contempt of the judiciary. What constitutes contempt of the judiciary and the penalty thereof, the legislature should pass laws. Up to today's date, that law has not been passed. So the Supreme Court take upon itself to say what constitutes contempt is what brings the court into public disrepute. So in their mind, since there was no boundary, they abrogated to themselves as to what they consider as contempt.
My point here is, you're going to qualify the law. I'm not saying when you put that decision, that opinion of the Supreme Court in the public key case, are you going to qualify that to become part of the general Liberian law?
Yes, there's a Supreme Court opinion.
That when you abuse somebody's mind and somebody can sue you, it's now a free speech. Are you going to put that? Qualify that?
Once there was a Supreme Court opinion, it become case law, it ought to be qualified.
How to be, you are going to qualify under how to
I will codify it because it's a case law, it's a Supreme Court opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Mangier. Senator Sewell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the spirit of full disclosure, I know the nominee very well. I know him to be a good lawyer. He has defended me and won the case. Notwithstanding, I said that the law stated I shall do my job.
Excuse yourself.
No. What Grand Crew and Cali Cherry refuse
And that was double.
Mr. Nominee, congratulations. What's your political affiliation?
Thank you, Senator.
What's your political affiliation?
Mr. Senator, I've never joined a political party in this country. The only two parties I've been part of were when I was a student. I was a founding member of the student Uhuru movement in Tottenham High School, and Lubu Mine with Senator Jala sitting down there. Then I was a member of the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia. But nationally, I've never joined no political party.
This government not credited for nominating or appointing people for Grand Crew. How you got appointed?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, you gotta know that one.
No, you gotta know.
Mr. Nominee, again, like I said, I think you have paid your dues in the legal profession. And my only concern is you seem overqualified for the position. What do you think?
I do not think so. No, the legal profession is a learning tool. Every day we learn. So I see it as a challenge and an opportunity to learn more.
Now, I want to piggyback on Senator Magier's question. Prophet Key insulted Julie Annie's mother. Julie Annie went to court. The legal advisor to the president said it was freedom of speech, and he quoted, I think, the Kamara law and all the different things, and the case was dismissed. Prophet Key insulted the Chief Justice's mother. He was sent to jail for 6 months. Is it the crime of insulting the Chief Justice's mother or insulting any mother?
From what I heard, because I was in the Supreme Court when the opinion was read by Justice Weah. From what I learned from that opinion is Prophet Key was held in contempt for bringing the court into public disrepute. Meaning, he criticized opinion of the court that the court was corrupt on the basis of that how he was held in contempt.
So, accusing the court of being corrupt, I mean, everybody in the country has said the court corrupt. I mean, for me, for obvious reasons, I would say that I don't believe it's corrupt. But a lot of people have said the court corrupt. So the verdict, the opinion of the Supreme Court, and if you need to research, you can research it, was it based on the allegation that the court is corrupt or allegation or accusation that he insulted the Chief Justice's mother?
I know that the court can hold you contempt for bringing the court to public disrepute. Senator Jala here is a classic example.
So, General Jala is not a nominee.
No, I'm talking about the instances where court can hold people in contempt.
Okay.
That's the scenario I'm trying to make. When Senator Jala was at the University of Liberia, I think it was in 1987 or something thereabout, he wrote an article criticizing the Supreme Court. And the court held in contempt. In the mind of the court then, that article brought the court into public disrepute. His own unique cause, he wrote, Prophet Key talked, and he said the court was corrupt. So
if I listen to the opinion read by Justice Weah, she specifically mentioned women who the Marcos, even her opinion, she went secret in and said Marcos. She was clear in her opinion when she accused. stated that. What you are now saying, though, is not the insult, is the accusing the court of being corrupt. Are you sure you want to recite that, or you're sure of?
I will recite that, but I think she was making the analogy in line with Article 15B of the Constitution, where people say anybody, you have freedom of speech. Then she was saying, no, the Constitution guarantees freedom of speech, but it expressly says that you will be held responsible for the abuse thereof. And my court and other courts that abuse thereof of that constitutional provision, so it's not absolute. That was the analogy she was making.
So, insulting man cause was not why he went to jail. He went to jail because he said the code of corrupt.
He's got a code to public disrespect, which was contemptuous.
So he can't out of jail and insult the chief justice man. He'll open jail again for that one. Or is it different?
What I can't forecast what will happen when you come from jail, what you will do or what you will not do.
But you promised to change.
And you promise that you will not do it.
I'm asking because I'm confused, and I think you made me more confused here. But I think that opinion was more about insulting of mother. I'm just concerned because the reason I'm asking, a few weeks ago there was a hearing here, and the Deputy Minister of Justice, Councillor Kamo, told this body that as Deputy Minister of Justice, any president say he agreed with it. It's on record. Say any president say he agreed with it. The Deputy, I said Deputy Foreign Minister or Minister of State, Justice, say any president say he agreed with it. What do you say about that?
Well, the Constitution gives the Minister of Justice to be advisor to the government. And on our system of government, the Minister of Justice is the only person that can disagree with the President on legal matters.
That's how we talk on the count.
So, if maybe you are talking maybe not as Minister of Justice, but Deputy Minister of Justice, but if I were in, I would not say so. Suppose our Minister, I am confirmed by you, and Minister travel.
The matter of fact, he was representing the Minister of Justice. So he came here as proxy to the Minister of Justice and told us that any president said he agreed with it.
Well, maybe he has a vision of saying so, but I think the Constitution gave the Minister of Justice the right to disagree with the President on legal grounds. So if you are acting that deputy, like Minister Weah traveled and he was acting as deputy, acting minister, and I think if anything that is, you feel that is not legally sound or expedient, you can respectfully disagree with the President.
So when they don't ask you a question here, you said, which I expected nothing less, that if you did fraud, you would do the honorable thing by quitting. I think that's who I know, that's the person I know. Now that you're going into, yes, a legal or a political appointed position, do you still hold yourself to those values? Who you are?
At my age, I don't think I'm prepared to change my values. I'm not ready to change my values. Those are values that I've lived with for almost 68 years of my life.
Are you married?
Oh yes, my darling wife is sitting right there.
Which one?
He's not
Right there.
One in blue?
No.
The chair is a loud question. It's a leading question.
Have you separated your ties with the side law firm, or you do that after you confirm?
I soon am confirmed and formally appointed by the President as an honorable several my ties from my office at the side law firm. Even when I won't do that vacation, I can come by any day, anytime.
So why you think that position, if confirmed, will you give that law firm consultancy contract?
Yes, if I have reason to do it, I will do it. That law firm is qualified.
Competitively or
Competitively.
And considering conflict of interest?
No, Senator, if you had, let's put it this way, if your son was sick and you were supposed to have a surgery, then you had two surgeons in front of you. One had 36 years of being a surgeon, and the other one had 5 years of being a surgeon. Who would you feel comfortable with to give your son to operate on?
unfortunately, this is not about surgery, it's about the rule of law. It's about the rule of law. And we have a PPCC Act that talks about the competitive process in awarding contracts.
It will be competitive. And I know it will be, that's the qualification, it will be competitive.
But you're already judging that you got a qualification, so.
But I know it.
In your opinion, there's no other law firm or lawyer that has the same kind of qualification?
No, I wouldn't say so. There are many law firms with the same qualification. But I think you would be one of the best.
You prefer it?
If doing a competitive bid, you become the best, I would give
Oh,
it.
don't be competitive.
Do you think 6 months for perpetuity was too much or is reasonable? Reasonable penalty.
I think it was reasonable.
The legislature also have contempt powers. If we were to use that power and jail someone for 6 months, what would be your opinion?
Again, the Constitution gave you the right to hold people in contempt. And if you exercise that, your case, the Constitution says that if you jail somebody, you must exceed the section in which you are in.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it falls within the section that you are in, I will have no problem with it. But if it closed and the person stay in jail, then we'll have problem with it.
Last question. If we pass a law here, and you edit that law, like you said, and we hold you for obstructing the legislative function and jail you for 6 months, would that be reasonable?
If in your mind what I did wasn't being to go to jail for 6 months, I will take it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That would be after due process.
Oh yeah,
That would be after due process.
yeah.
Right. Thank you, Senator. Vice Chair?
Thank you. By way of introduction, my name is Senator Councilor Joseph Chala. I'm the Senior Senator of Lofa County. I'm Chairman for Banking and Currency. I'm Co-Chair for Judiciary. I'm member of Agriculture Committee. I'm also a member of the I'm on the Budget Committee of the Senate, so I will be looking at those things about codification. But let me start with one low-key question. By way of disclosure, I know the nominee. We handle one case together. I'm the former Auditor General of GSA, where he sued his secretary, and when in that case, probably on human rights issue. So we represent the secretary, which is now a free person. He didn't pursue the case after law issues. Okay, this is my concern with Justice Ministry Codification and law reform. I believe that the Law Reform Commission is a clever usurpation of the function of codification, and it has taken over the function of codification. That is mine. Do you agree with me?
Well, technically, I've not followed the workings of the Law Reform Commission, and from a distance, what I think or they should be doing or they are doing is to draft legislation for enactment. That's what I thought the law reform should be doing.
Harmonize the law.
Harmonize the law. The work of the codification is after they draft the laws are harmonized, then the codification take it and put it in context.
No, that is not correct assertion. From day one, the role of the Justice Ministry is the law department. They draft law also. They one that was drafting the law. That was their job. And after the law is passed, they will have to follow on codification. Law reform was not existing for time immemorial. Justice Ministry was drafting law. All the law that we have under our book were drafted by and through all executive bills, not all law, but all executive bills that come through the president must be gone through the Justice Ministry.
Yeah.
So that's why they call it executive bills. So the Law Reform Commission came in to really usurp that function, you know. So I told the chairman of the Law Reform Commission when he came here that he was doing the job of codification, and that was a big row in Britain. You know, law reform issue was a big. They say it should be a committee. It should be a hot committee that comes in and on. So basically, that is going to be an issue. And people who are going to be allocating resources, they'll be the same money they're going to be allocating for law reform, they'll be allotted to allocate it for codification. So it's something to really look into. So I listen to my colleagues trying to go up and down with you. Your role is not to edit the law, to do anything. When the law is passed, you just take it, as you say, decide which one come on page 1 on codification, which one come on page 10 on codification. You can do that. But you can't do anything the law will pass. You can do anything before it comes to us. Even when it comes to us, we can call you to help us. But before all we pass it, our English is acceptable as standard and true and correct.
Okay.
Tell him what the chairman said.
So let me see what I can give you my last question, because I don't think the real time will be when you're in the office and we need some things to be done, we can call. But you work at the Monrovia Central Prison, colleague. How did you live it? How did you meet it? Our prison is terrible.
Well, that's been almost more than 20 years ago. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
And you'll be there too. As administrator, so in the meeting, in the staff meeting, you can also ask questions.
no, to admit, I was a cadet at the Ministry of Justice and directly assigned with Minister Designate, and I started to visit the prison at the time. The conditions I saw at the prison that time, the prolonged detention of people, the unhealthy sanitary conditions at which they were kept, and the appalling condition of the cells had a compelling influence on me to go to law school. It was then my belief that those people at the time were people I shared commonality with. And I decided to go to law school to put my legal education at their disposal. And exactly what I did. When I graduated from law school, I started working with Catholic Justice and Peace Commission. My first work was to be legal aid officer, to be lawyer for indigent clients. And I manifested that belief that I had, and I put it to professionalism. So I know the conditions then were bad. But again,
in West today.
well, I've not been there of late. The last time I was there was when Councilor Gloria Scott was there. I went to visit her. That was the last time I was there. So I don't know the condition down there.
Will you visit Private Key there?
I do not even know the medical proper key, so I'm going to visit you.
But you more red.
No. I'll finish with that in long time.
The prison right now, when it rains on prisoners.
Wow.
The last time I went there might be 2 years at the time. So that's why we rushed to pass the correction bill in the Senate to see whether it can assist you in seeking resources to rehab. Because even the prison is running better than ours.
It is intended to make it autonomous?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing.
But it will still have oversight on the Justice Department. It will be a commission related to the Ministry of Justice. It's not going to be like wonderful autonomy, but it's going to be limited in terms of that, like the police department, immigration, those things that honor the department, and so on. So I know we'll have a lot of time to interact. I want to wish you a good day and to thank the president for preferring you for the position. It's a job that hard to come right now. You never have many person taking job at the Ministry of Justice, given the reality. But we'll see how it goes in your particular case. We'll be in touch. Anything we can do, if you are accepted by the rest of the Senate, we'll be there to work with you.
Thank you, Senator.
That's it, Zoom.
Yeah, I'm down.
Thank you. So let me introduce myself. At the outset, I'm the chairperson of this committee, and I'll have the closing questions or interaction with you. My first concern has to do with the state of affairs of the department that you're going to head. The lady who is now the Deputy Minister for Administration, I think Mrs. Weah, was here a couple of months ago. And lamented the fact that it's a difficult job, difficult in terms of the lack of support, and that she has not been able to perform her duties because of that. Not been able to move forward with the whole process of codification that was just the same way she led it. She left it that way because she was Deputy Minister for Codification and later nominated by the President as Deputy Minister for Administration. That's the position you are going to. And one of my colleagues asked about whether you had an opportunity to look at the budget. Of course, rightly so, you didn't have, because even if you had that opportunity, there's nothing you can do, like you said, about the budget. But that's the situation there. Going to a position is one thing. Having outcomes or results, something else. How are you, or how will you deal with the issue of support through the Department of Codification Department to ensure that you do an effective job, our laws are codified, and that they are accessible. Thank you.
Senator, thank you for your comment, but let me be very honest with you and my conscience. I accepted this nomination with a belief that I am confirmed I will go do a piece of job. If that the opportunity avails itself, that what I'm supposed to do, the support is not coming, I will politely walk away from my job and go to my private law practice.
You walk away because support is not coming.
Yeah.
You think you'll be defeating yourself, I don't you?
What? I will make effort. If you give me a piece of job, you expect me to perform. And to perform meaning I will have to get the support I'm supposed to get. After I make requests and the support not coming and I'm not working, why should I sit there in the office? I'll be out.
What's about looking for support from the international community?
If it does come, I will work. But if it doesn't come from international community, neither from the government, I cannot sit down in an office that will
Are you going to try that? Give it a try.
Of course, I will make. Of course, Senator, I will make effort. I will explore avenues.
Write proposals for support.
Everything that I think
That's
I
happened
do.
before. Will you do that?
Yes. I ran an institution in this country that was very vibrant, that was dependent on donor support. I think I got some expertise in me to.
I agree, because from that background, they'll say, well, I expected you to say, not to say that you quit because of the lack of support, but that you make sure that you get support.
That would be the last result to quit. But I will make effort to engage the government, to engage international partners, those who are interested in codifying our laws, to seek support. If I get the support, I will do my best to make it functional. Sometimes you see a position is dormant and you think that it will remain dormant, but it depends the person who goes there and the vision and the expertise they bring to bear.
Absolutely.
They can reawaken that same position that you thought I was dormant. I couldn't wake up.
This is where I'm coming from.
So I know I got some expertise, I got some contact, I got something that I can bring to bear. But if all fail beyond reasonable doubt, as we lawyers will say, then that
Trust
was
your ability. Trust your ability that you make it work. You get support, you find support, and then you get support.
Indeed,
And
I
that
know.
you do.
Your friend Jara on the
Excellent
budget
job.
committee. Jara push it.
Don't defeat yourself from the outset. What's the hierarchy like in the Ministry of Justice? Who is the Deputy Minister for Codification and Administration?
Personally,
Who? I mean, what kind of
Ranking?
In terms of ranking, in terms of function,
You might be the last.
in terms of chain of command?
well, I think the Ministry of Justice got
The structure of the ministry.
three deputy ministers: Administration, Economic Affairs, and Codification.
You said you're in one of those positions before.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. The Ministry of Justice have three deputy positions.
Okay, so in other words, you're supposed to be the fourth or the third most senior officer of the ministry.
That is supposed to be by the structure.
You will be the fourth.
So let's look at lateral and vertical relationship. How do you intend to manage a relationship at the lower and upper level of action of the so that's important.
I intend to be a professional team player. I intend
We
to
had
work.
a time where we had the Solicitor General who said that he could not report to the Minister of Justice. We report to the Minister of Justice.
Without report. Oh yeah, the Minister of Justice is the supervisor for the Ministry of Justice.
You'll be a boss if you are confirmed and appointed.
Indeed, he
I
will.
just want to make that clear.
Indeed, he will.
Go ahead, Philip, man.
And he's somebody I have good respect for. Liking or don't like him, he's one of the best in our profession.
These relationship things are very important. Better to clear them from the onset, so that nobody thinks that they are boss unto themselves. Most times people have that disposition, which is wrong, of course. You have to manage both the lateral and the vertical relationship. People when you're in the same level, who are boarding, who are below. It's very important to maintain a cordial relationship with them. Then we look at institutional relationship. You're going to do codification. The laws you're going to codify are going to come from here, and the Supreme Court opinion. How will you maintain that coordination in that relationship?
I intend to work with all sectors, especially the legislature, because I mean the laws that you pass will have to be codified by my office. Equally so the Supreme Court opinion. So there will have to be a working relationship between your office and my office. So that is where now the support we're talking about now, you have to see that it should come. Because that office will be responsible to codify your laws. So the support is not coming, the laws you pass will not be codified.
It's a threat.
Then we'll make them, no.
Hey, Philip, man here.
Eh?
Hey, Philip, man here.
No, Philip and I probably didn't do so.
So when the government there, the private will be there.
You're paying you know how much money you pay to
You
Philip?
already doing it, you took over to selling the post.
All right, so, yeah, continue.
Yeah, so there has to be a cordial working relationship with the legislature and the Supreme Court. Because at the two institutions, everybody knows the importance of codifying the laws that they make. The Supreme Court itself is aware of that. And many of their opinions are not being codified. It makes it very difficult for lawyers to research those laws, those opinions, and make reference to them. Equally so, the many acts that we pass as legislators, I mean, if they are not qualified, they cannot be
A lot of them, I complain every day about that. You don't even know where they are. You don't know where they are. People come here to even look for them, they can't find them. That's why we attach so much importance to your office, to work with us, work with the Supreme Court to ensure that our laws are followed. Look for support through the budget and from our partners. Right.
Yeah.
I read that.
We
So,
promise to do so.
if you are confirmed and appointed, probably that should be before the end of the month, or probably if that should be the case, you are appointed, you are confirmed and appointed. When should we expect to see the first codified law? Going to that.
Yeah, but Senator, I agree. First of all, let me go and see what is in front of me. Let me go see what is in front of me.
So there will be our priorities.
My first priority is to see the set up the office and know what it takes to start my work doing. Because to make commitment, yes, I will do this in the next 1 month or the next 3 months.
So your first 90-day deliverable will be what?
My first 90-day deliverable is to see the resources that I will have to start the work with first.
You'll be waiting for the resources to come?
So if I don't have computer, how do I work with the Senator? So, I mean, I go with full force, with my full commitment and my full everything, professionalism to it. Equally so, it has to be, there's somewhere to sit, somewhere to start, and somewhere to do. Study the situation, take an inventory of what is available and what is not available, what I can start with, what I cannot start with, then we keep the ball going.
Including writing proposals if need be.
If need be, yes.
So finally, how will you describe your role? Describe to us in detail what's the role or the functions of the Deputy Minister for Codification.
With permission, let me read it.
No, go ahead.
With permission, let me read it. As you pass it. Review of all draft contracts and legal documents referred to the Ministry of Justice from other government agencies. 2. Prepare memoranda and legal questions by other agencies of the executive branch of government. Render other legal services as requested by agencies of the executive branch of government. Be in charge of the codification of Liberian statutes, preparation for publication of Supreme Court opinions. Recommend from time to time changes and reforms in the statutory law as deemed necessary, as modified or legally antiquated.
So Dominic, have you read the act creating the Law Reform Commission? Are you familiar with the functions also of the Law Reform Commission?
I've not read it.
You have not.
Okay. Well, I think it should be one of those things that would be
Whether they are complementary or otherwise, I think it's important for you to know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dominic.
Yeah, in my closing, I just want to give you one small assignment. You don't have to answer today. Can the Director of Police unilaterally clear a suspect who have been suspected of committing a crime against the state? If he doesn't have sufficient evidence, can he unilaterally set the person free or clear them without the Attorney General? If you don't have the answer, you can take it up and let me know in the future.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I want to say thanks for the appearance, Mr. Chair, in close the meeting. The closing is that I'm happy that we have gone through this exercise in a very timely fashion, and the rest of the work will be led by our colleague in plenary, and subsequently the executive decisions. So I want to say thanks to you and your family for you being prepared for this position. As I said, the Justice Ministry is a difficult place to work. It's a lot of powerhouse, it's difficult to find people who want to be there, given the condition of work. Nothing that happened in my venue, and all of that. So that's the reason why, it's a difficult place to have. So, Mr. Chair, you may take on that and go to the nominee.
Nominee, thank you for comment. You hear from us from the nominating authority as to what our decision will be. Our decision is favorable, then the president will appoint you. If not, it's all right. It is from the nominating authority that, through the nominating authority that you hear from us. Again, I say congratulations for your conferment. I want to say a pleasant afternoon to your beautiful wife, I can describe her, which is beautiful. And I think our sister.
Why even know other personal details? Why you can ask about a partner?
Especially when snow is
Yeah, I'm coming there now.
Especially when snow is here.
I don't want to know the details. Okay, yeah, so since in the Liberian Palace, thank you for coming. Mr. Sire?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Thank you for coming also.
Thank you.
We come to the chairman saying that.
Thank you.
Well, tonight,
Thank you also.
We are lawyers.
Thank you for coming and for your support. Thank you. Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Please discharge with this one.
With thanks of the committee.
With thanks of the committee, yes.
He's right. Bruno, thank you on behalf of the committee. After saying this, I've reviewed some position in the authority first meeting by the chairman and the members of the Senate Standing Committee on Judiciary, including petitions and human rights, to get discharged.